Hello, once again, this is Brother Teacher, Grandmaster Stroud. Before I leave my office today, I wanted to send this message out to martial arts masters, grandmasters, sijos, gurus, uh, senseis, and such about important elements that every martial arts style and or system must contain. If you are a prospective martial arts uh, practitioner, someone who is striving to be the best that you possibly can, or even open a school one day if you don't have one, you need to know this, and we need to think in practical terms. There are certain elements that an art must possess. First of all, if you're teaching the martial art from its root cause, having a basis for self-defense, self-protection, you think of a student, and that student uh, let's dismiss the children for this particular video, and let's say an adult that wants to learn self-defense that comes to you. You have an adult that wants to learn self-defense, and let's say the adult ranges from the age of 18 and above. Let's say you have middle-age adults and you have older adults. What should they all be taught? What should they all possess in terms of knowledge that would be beneficial to them if they were to encounter a violent conflict in the street? First of all, character is very, very important. So you must know your clients and or students. You must get to know them before they even get started in your dojo, dojang, or your kun. And um, get to know what their personality is. And if you find that you have someone that is prone to want to fight right up the bat, you should be discouraged in even teaching that individual. You want someone that's going to be devoted to training, uh, and you must teach that person how to think in terms of having control. The Bible calls it temperance, self-control. So you want to try and avoid conflict, avoid surrounding yourselves with people that are going to even cause conflict as much as you possibly can, and encourage that in your students too. Stay away from violence. Stay away from environments where people will cause trouble if you possibly can. That's one. I learned early on that self-defense starts with a conversation. I don't want any troubles. I don't want any problem. And you try to avoid that situation. That's the first thing you teach your students. Avoidance, right? That's one thing you teach your students. And you, as an instructor, most definitely must possess that control. Now, when it comes to the physical conflict part of it, you must learn how to stop someone from hitting you defensively, what we call a block, okay, or a parry, depending on what the art is that you're studying, be it Aikido or Tai Chi Chuan, which or Bagua Zhang, something that oftentimes wards off an attack or someone coming at you and redirects and so forth, or even Judo, Jiu-Jitsu. Now, karate is more direct. It's usually a block and a strike, be it a kick, elbow, hand strike. Okay? But you must understand this, comprehend this. If a person has the intention of harming you and you cannot avoid it, and they continue to come at you, you just can't block or redirect the person if they have the intention to still strike you, because they haven't changed their mind. Especially if they have a cudgel, uh, a blunt object like a stick or a club or a bottle, or even if they have a bladed weapon like a knife or a chain. You must, please understand this, you must injure that person. You must stop that person. You just can't push them away and think they're just going to stop. It's not going to work that way. So you must understand that. So, as passive as you want to be, maybe I don't want to hurt them. If they're not going to stop, you must. Other than having to strike your opponent, that means if you're a woman, you're going to have to strike an opponent as well, to include striking a man who might be much stronger than you, of course. You have to learn vital targets, where to go. That's one. And finally, uh, last two things. Well, one of them was vital targets. You have to learn what those targets are. And one of the other things that I need to add is that I've noticed over the years that there have been many people that I have come across that have studied uh, arts or have had systems, more karate than not, didn't teach falling, how to fall, the art of falling, which is an art all by itself. Now, you cannot uh, necessarily mitigate all the damage potentially that can occur if you were to fall. There's so many various ways that you can fall: down the steps, up the steps, or slip on ice or whatever. In the street, you can minimize injury if you fall on a flat surface for the most part. But there are arts that actually do teach falling, because that's what that art is predicated on, and that's jujitsu, which is the mother art of judo. So jujitsu teaches falling, or ukimi. It's one of the first things that I learned, the art of falling, or falling away, break falls and so forth. Jujitsu, judo, and aikido and hapkido teaches falling, for example. But there are some arts that teach falling, or some form of falling. I can't speak on all of those, but I have noticed, as I said before, there are many arts and many instructors that I know have never learned falling, and they practice more on the striking aspect of their arts versus falling at all. If anything, they probably pick it up later, but that's not good. So if you're going to teach self-defense, you have to teach the person how to take a fall if they were to go down as well, and how to recover, or even fight from the ground if they had to. But point is, if you were to go down to the ground, you don't want to stay down there. You want to recover from the ground and get back to your feet as soon as you possibly can and go home. But that was it. I just wanted to share that with all of you in this brief video. Practice those things, focus on those things, and stay safe. It's Brother Teacher. So long.